Sparrow talking about run-on sentences. For example, this is a run-on sentence. Grace watered the plants. The dog woofed at the wind. These are two true things, and they're perfectly good sentences in and of themselves. Grace watered the plants. The dog woofed at the wind. There's no reason to put them together, whether or not you use a comma. Do not care if you used a comma. There's no reason to mush them together because we've got different beings, Grace and the dog, with different verbs, different complete sentences. Now, maybe there is a crazy circumstance in which you can combine them. So here we go. No, I'm trying to click the right button. There we go. Here's the standard. Just put them side by side. Grace watered the plants, period. Begin a new sentence. The dog woofed at the wind. Okay. If for some crazy reason watering the plants and the dog woofing at the wind, like maybe the water comes from a windmill, right? If for some reason these two sentences are related, they're related so strongly that you want your reader to encode them in the same part of their brain, you can connect these with a semicolon, not a comma, with a semicolon. That's this guy. All right. How about while Grace watered the plants, the dog woofed at the wind? Yes, this is from your sentence fragment video, right? If you use some kind of subordinating conjunction like while Grace watered the plants, because Grace watered the plants, if Grace watered the plants, if you make one of these phrases, and in this case I've chosen that the dog woofed at the wind is the important thing, and I made while Grace watered the plants a less important, a subordinated clause, then this is fine, because while Grace watered the plants is not a complete sentence. It's like my mother talking. While Grace watered the plants, and then she stops. Now, what if I wanted Grace watering the plants to be more important? Remember, then that's the one that doesn't get subordinated. So Grace watered the plants because the dog woofed at the wind. That would be fine, because would change the dog woofed at the wind into just a subordinate clause. Alrighty, onward. Next thing. What about Grace watered the plants, cleaned the sink, and took out the compost? Is that a run-on sentence? It is not. Notice that cleaned the sink is not a complete sentence. Took out the compost is not a complete sentence. All these great phrases are joined by having the same subject. Grace watered the plant, Grace cleaned the sink, so that's fine. Ooh, fancy. How about Grace watered the plants, cleaned the sink, and took out the compost. And now I've got a subordinated clause. After the dog woofed at the wind, herded the sheep, and ate the kibble. Yes, that is an okay, academically correct sentence. Does that mean we should use it? Not really, because that was hard on your reader. Okay, you can make a long, brutal, correct sentence, but if it's hard to read and keep straight what happened, then you didn't communicate. Okay, so our guideline, and this is really bigger than all the rules, is to take care of your reader. That's how we get clear communication. Alrighty, onward. So I could rewrite it. The dog woofed at the wind, herded the sheep, and ate the kibble. Sure. After that, Grace watered the plants, cleaned the sink, and took out the compost. I would break that down into 2 separate sentences, and I would indicate the afterness, right, with just a tiny little phrase after that. After all of these things in the previous sentence. Sure, that works. Alrighty. Breaking grammar rules is okay. It is normal in your conversation. It is absolutely normal in informal writing, like texting your bestie, right? Do I text my bestie full sentences? No, that's not a thing. But we're here to work on the academic dialect of English. My job is to make you experts in writing in the academic dialect of English, regardless of which dialects we speak in. In that dialect, the academic one, breaking grammar rules is very rare. It is very high-level stuff. So I want you to know the accepted academic forms inside and out. That's what you're going to be practicing in this course. And then only break that dialect for a reason, not out of ignorance. Do it for an effect. Maybe you're writing a character who speaks in a non-academic dialect. You're writing some Tom Sawyer stuff, and someone's fixing to go here, or ain't that or whatever. Or you're writing a story about my mother, and she's speaking in subordinate clauses. If only it would snow. Sure, please, but if you're going to write about my mother, don't turn it into me. But maybe you're making a point about non-academic dialect. Okay, that's a reason to break academic dialect. Otherwise, I want you to keep it nice and clean. So please, from here on, I will be taking points off if I run into run-on sentences like 2 complete sentences mushed together with or without a comma. These from now on will be a point off every time I see them. Okay, thank you.